Okay, we're recording. All right, thanks everybody. Appreciate you coming on a Thursday afternoon. Good to see everybody today. If you can, it'd be nice if some people could jump in the Nearpod. If not, if you're not available to, if you just respond over the chat, that'd be great too. Just so you guys are aware, this session is being recorded for learning purposes, and I will be posting those to the classroom. My virtual expectations: one, make sure you're following along with the Nearpod lesson, using the chat tools respectfully and appropriately, and also responding to questions and instructions the first time. That helps us move through things. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about transforming school culture. So school culture and climate is kind of what everything is on today. Just as we jump into the course real quick, we do have all the recordings that are posted here to the course announcement page, easy for your access. If we hit the course plan, today's the 20th, we have live lesson. We'll get all of this done. We actually, let me delete that off there. We'll have a live class here, and then we'll have it due on the 3rd. And that's really all we have for this block. If you do want to take the skills test, remember that will be on Thursday, the 25th, and I'll be doing it at 1:15. So, and as we're looking at content here, we're looking at Unit 4, Culture in Education. We have the Nearpod link. I'll post the video recording to there. We have 2 assignments this week. First one is a 5-question quiz like usual. And the second one is lesson 4 assignment, which I will be going over in a second after we go through all of the material. So before I get going, do you guys have any questions on the course or anything that you feel like you need explained to you? Okay, I guess we'll just move on. All right, so transforming school culture. So if you think about culture, culture, we're going to define it in a second, but it's really the way people feel, the interactions, the systems that are put in place, everything about an organization. And this quote here, it says, "Culture is the most powerful source of leverage for bringing about change in a school or any organization for that matter." So if you can set like a good culture, things work, right? Where you want to come to work and do things. You want to be able to be effective. You have goals that you've set. You have your mission, your vision. And not having some of these things is very detrimental to any organization, but in schools in particular, because you're really hurting the kids, right? And so you have, negative Nellies out there, or you have someone doing this or the other. To keep it all together, culture is what is going to do it. Okay, so school culture, you're going to want to look at this, and I'm going to open the Nearpod up at the very end, because you'll probably want to go back and look at these some of these definitions for your tests or your quiz today. But it says school culture is the norms developed over time based on shared attitudes, values, beliefs, expectation, relationships, and traditions of a particular school that cause it to function or react as it does. So really it's the group of people, right, coming together to basically interact, but you do have that same attitude, the same mission of trying to accomplish a goal. And when you don't have that and people are all doing their own thing, it becomes very hard for any organization to function. School culture is often majority driven by the staff, intangibles, hard to describe and difficult to positively impact or change in a systematic way. The attitudes, beliefs, and values may often be hidden to those new to or outside the community. So we have some people. Have any of you guys ever heard before that people have their hidden agendas? Yeah, okay. So what it means by having a hidden agenda is basically you have an idea of the way things should be, and you don't care really what the actual goal is set up there. You don't have a shared vision or anything with other people. I'm just going to work off what I want, and I'm going to do whatever, manipulate, change, do my own way, whatever it is, to get what I think is best rather than what has been decided collectively as a school or organization. So this goes in a little bit to what we call school climate, is the communication of its norms, beliefs, and values through various behaviors and interactions and their efforts on others, with primary focus on being the students. School climate is driven by and reflected in the daily interactions of staff, administration, students, support staff, and the outside community. So it's interesting because we're at a virtual school, but even the virtual school has their own climate, right? The way that teachers interact with students, how staff interacts with other staff, how we do all that is all about the school climate. And you can really kind of see this in like different places, in different organizations, if people are happy or not, or if they're upset with the school or with the climate or culture. So that's going to be something I want you guys to think about as we're going through this, is really what have you seen in various schools that you've been to, right? You may have only been to Utah Virtual Academy, so you'd have to like do it on there. But I'm assuming a lot of you have came from different schools before, and you kind of understand what the climate or school culture is, okay? Climate is also expressed in a tangible way, is more leadership driven, and responds to more quickly to change. Climate is demonstrated through collegiality, communication, decision-making, trust, expectations, ideology, leadership, recognition, celebration, support, and experimentation. Climate should directly reflect the school's mission statement through its focus and action, right? So I've actually worked in quite a few different schools, and I've noticed the climate is really about how the organization's structured from the top down, meaning the principal in that building or the leadership above it, of how they interact, right? Do they support me? Do they accept my ideas? Do I feel good where I'm working, right? And I feel like, at least in Utah Virtual Academy State, that I love working at Utah Virtual Academy. I believe my ideology is aligned with that school climate. So I feel very comfortable here. And hopefully you guys see that as well with the teachers and stuff, that the teachers are happy, they're excited, they want to help you work and learn and all of that stuff. Okay, we're going to watch a little video about kind of some of the different theories of school culture and how it can be used for the good or the bad. So this is only about 2 minutes.
Hi guys, before we discuss the 6 types of school culture, let us define what school culture is.
School culture refers to the beliefs, perceptions, relationships, attitudes, and written and unwritten rules which shapes and influence the aspect of the school functions.
According to Steve Grunard and Todd Whitaker, there are 6 types of school culture.
The first one is the collaborative school culture. Teachers and other educators attempt to establish positive changes to teacher and school community by sharing strong educational values, work as a team to make changes to improve school performances.
Second, comfortable collaboration. School which exists values cooperation, courtesy and compliance. Teachers may hesitate to disagree with one another because of the fear of hurting someone's feeling. A comfortable school is more important in order to teach effectively.
Third, contrived collegiality. Leadership may generate contrived collegiality when they enforce collaboration. Teachers were expected to meet and discuss student progress and then file a report to prove they did. The difference of contrived collegiality to collaborative culture is that it is administratively regulated and mandatory.
Fourth, fragmented. Teachers function as individuals with classroom doors staying closed and teachers having their own territory and for the most part liking it that way.
Fifth, balkanized. Teachers and other educators create isolated subgroups within the bigger school community. Teachers within balkanized culture were strongly isolated and usually don't participate with the other group.
Lastly, toxic school culture. Teachers and other educators usually focuses only on the negative aspects of the school's operations and personnel, and they used this reason to justify the poor performance of the school.
School is a place where different culture exists. If the students have their own cultures within the class or school, there are also different culture among teachers. Each of these types has its own description and different purposes on teachers' practice. Thank you for listening to our discussion. I hope you.
All right. So hopefully you kind of found that a little bit interesting about how there are different groups. You may can almost say there's like cliques, right? So sometimes only the science department gets together and hangs out, right? And we subgroup, or it's good. The best one is the very positive one. The first one they talk about is just being able to collaborate overall and helping each other out. So school culture is over a period of time, the history of the school, right? And the climate is the now. It's perceptions, emotions being invoked. So it's kind of like a more right now, and the culture is built over a period of time. So we're going to talk about two different things. One's called accidental culture, and one's called intentional culture. Okay, so accidental, as we kind of read through the differences between the two, accidental is just we're kind of doing it, but we don't have a real focus, right? We're not pinpointing what really needs to happen. And then the intentional, you'll see, is very developed, designed, authentic, really put into a place where we're specifically targeting what needs to be targeted. So some things about accidental culture are activities are based on assumption rather than like data. 2, academic goals deteriorates to a wish. So it's like, oh, we can't really do this. Mission and goals are ignored. 4, the decision are dictated and developed by the few. Intentional culture, their activities are research-based or based on data. 2, the academic goals are credentially focused, credible. The focus is on the results. 3, the mission and goals are used as a blueprint for the school improvement. 4, the broad collaboration decisions are widely shared. And then as we continue on into accidental, articulated, they articulate the actual beliefs. They have random values, just whatever fits today. Connections are random, and diversity is acknowledged. Okay, so I mean, they're doing some things, but not really. But intentional culture is beliefs are tied to actions and behaviors. 2, values are tied to the vision and mission. 3, connections are consistently sought. And then 4, diversity or differences, right, that we all have are valued, right, rather than just acknowledged. So as I've had you guys start thinking and stuff like that, I see some of you guys are on the Nearpod. If you can jump on the Nearpod, that's great. If not, just put it in the chat. The question I have for you, and this is going to help you on your assignment, just hopefully springboard you threw on your assignment. What is your experience as a student in school? For example, were the teachers and staff nice to you? Was there contention going in the school? Was there negative attitudes? Was there were people happy, right? And it doesn't have to be Utah virtual. It could be if you want to. But what are your experiences? Okay. So somebody said, my teachers were toxic and used social standards to grade. So I came here and now it's great. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoy it here. Glad to have you in class too. Any other thoughts, guys? What are some experiences you've had? And so that's one of the biggest things in any place is just being in a good culture. I mean, if you're going out to work somewhere, wherever it is, being able to have a good place where you are comfortable working, you enjoy it, all that kind of stuff. I was from a small school that housed all grades. So it was typically the same people every year. And we were like family, but the teachers knew that. And so they always ganged up on us. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not good. Yeah, I think maybe in some of those smaller places where they're knit together, there becomes those subgroups, right? That they talked about in the video with culture. And it's hard to kind of distinguish the two, right? Okay. Any other thoughts, guys? Experiences you'd like to share? What I would do for those that did comment, I would copy those and make sure you have some of that document already. So when you do the lesson 4 assignment, okay, which we'll go over in a second, because it's going to ask you basically the same question there. So think about that, and we're going to move on. Okay, so we're going to be talking about some of those things we talked about. So negativity in a school culture or climate is usually manifest in the attitudes and actions of the school staff through no or low expectations, little or no communication among stakeholders, resistance to change, no ownership, little or no sense of community, disrespect, hostility widespread, low morale, and distrust. I hear you there, Danny. Okay, so some examples of some negativity and through dysfunctional norms, dreading coming to school, okay? Criticizing those who are innovative, politics-driven drive decision-making, do just enough to get by, judgmental, critical of other motivations, fear reprisal, distrust colleagues or administration. Yeah, I think there's a lot of seniors in this class too. A toxic culture is full of taters, is what that says. I think that's good. Dictators, commentators, agitators, spectators. Pretty funny. Positive school cultures, okay? They look at a mission is about students and teacher learning. Okay, the rich sense of history and purpose. Core values are collegial, performance, and improvement centered all around quality, achievement, and learning for all students. The next one's positive and proactive approaches for staff and students. Positive school culture is also stories that celebrate success and recognition, heroines or heroes. Physical environment reflects pride and joy, widespread sense of respect and nurturing. Okay, why is it important? Is school culture important? This is what the research tells us. It tells us positive learning can only take place in a positive culture. Okay, a healthy school culture will affect more student and teacher success than any other form or school improvement effort being currently being employed. So we are looking to transform school culture, okay? And that leads us to kind of our final thoughts real quick. And then I'm going to share with you the secret word that will be on your quiz. A final thought. Self-renewing school cultures are collaborative places where adults care about one another, share common goals and values, and have the skills and knowledge to plan together, solve problems together, and fight passionately but gracefully for ideas to improve instruction. So school culture is very important. The secret word that you're going to need for your quiz is transform. Okay, and I'll open up the Nearpod so you can see that. But I had another fun thing to show you real quick. It is difficult to change school culture, but remain optimistic. I love that. Who never said elephants couldn't fly, right? Okay, so that leads us to the very end. I am going to skip through real quick the very beginning and open this up for anybody that wants to look at the slides there. Let's see here. Let's just go to the quiz real quick. All of these are about school culture and climate. Pretty easy. Remember the secret word from the Nearpod or the lesson that we just went over. And then what you have to do is the same question we had on the board there. What is your experience as a student in school? You know, where the teacher's nice, you know, blah, 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 right? And so you just do that and submit it. Okay. So those are the things we're going over today. I'm going to go back just real quick. Oops. Right there, I'm going to go to the secret word because everybody's going to ask that in a second. But that's it, guys. So I appreciate it. Let me stop the recording. I'm going to be answering any questions. But thank you for coming. Appreciate it.